Returning to one of our top stories now, Sydney residents are facing a life-threatening flood emergency as thousands of people have been forced to leave their homes. Dozens of evacuation orders were issued overnight as more heavy rain causes devastating flooding. Joining me now live is New South Wales SES Chief Superintendent Ashley Sullivan. Thank you very much for joining us. Where are the main areas of concern right now?
Yeah, good morning. So the New South Wales SES has responded to over 3,500 requests for assistance across large parts of New South Wales, particularly the Illawarra, out into the central west, up into the Hunter, but predominantly around the Sydney metropolitan area where we're seeing significant river rises on the Hawkesbury Nepean and Georges River systems. Severe weather is predicted to continue throughout today and potentially tomorrow and into Tuesday. This causes concern for us due to the fact that we're already seeing saturation levels of significance. Any rainfall that does fall now is only going to exacerbate the problem. We've seen rivers rise quicker than anticipated, quicker than the community expected due to these levels of saturation. We currently have 71 evacuation orders current, along with 66 evacuation warnings, covering about 32,000 people. So it's a large part of the Sydney metropolitan area. A number of evacuation centres have been established in support of those that do need to evacuate. And we're asking our community to pay attention to our warnings, keep up to date with the latest information on the SES website, livetraffic.com.au if you have to travel. And we are asking the community to reconsider any travel plans in the next few days. We do understand that it's school holidays, but now, particularly while there's evacuation orders, severe weather warnings, flood warnings current, is not the time to be travelling, going on holiday into these areas or even sightseeing. We have attended 116 flood rescues in the last couple of days, predominantly for motorists that have driven into floodwaters, but also people that have remained in their homes and the floodwaters have risen and we've had to go in and rescue them, their family, their friends and their pets. If the community does need information, like I said, the SES website, or contact the New South Wales SES on 132 500, or in life critical situations, always 000.
And Ashley, you mentioned that there are about 32,000 people currently impacted by the evacuation orders and the evacuation warnings. Are residents following the advice of authorities?
We certainly appreciate every resident and our communities that have heeded our advice. A lot of people have evacuated, self-evacuated, activated their flood plans and done the right thing. But as I mentioned, 116 flood rescues for those that haven't followed the road closed signs or haven't evacuated in time, and some people have been caught out. We have seen rivers rise much quicker than predicted, much quicker than the usual river would in a flood like this. We are expecting that these river heights, particularly on the Hawkesbury Nepean system, will exceed those that we saw earlier this year and earlier in 2021 rather. So what you did see in those events, potentially it is going to be worse and happen much quicker. So if you have any concerns, activate your home flood plan, self-evacuate if you need to, go to friends, go to family, go to those evacuation centres and probably err on the side of caution. Even if we do see this heavy rainfall today and the strong winds, that's a real concern, but these rivers will continue to rise over the coming days and the flood will stick around for the rest of this week. Whilst ever there's floodwaters around, whilst ever the rain is falling, that dam is spilling, there is a threat to the community and we ask people to listen to the advice of emergency services and keep yourself, your family and friends safe.
Yeah, some really good advice there. This is a third such flood event this year in parts of New South Wales. Can you explain to us just how difficult the conditions are this time round for SES crews, particularly being in the middle of winter?
Yeah, most definitely. Floodwaters in the middle of winter are cold, dirty and very dangerous places to be. Although we're trained, we're kitted out, we don't want to be there. And that's where we ask people to take advice. This is affecting large parts of New South Wales, the South Coast, Illawarra, right out into Bathurst and Wellington, where there's flood warnings and weather warnings current for those areas, up into the Hunter Valley, where we've also got severe weather warnings and flood warnings. So it is a large part of New South Wales. Unfortunately, this weather doesn't look like it's going to disappear in a hurry and, potentially even extend into later parts of the week. That will obviously exacerbate any flooding cause any concerns, and it won't take much for these floods to continue, be prolonged, or even new rivers added to that flood warning service, which may lead to evacuation warnings and orders for new communities that currently aren't under those orders.
A difficult few days ahead. Ashley Sullivan, we appreciate the update. Thank you, and we will touch base.